Hello, good morning, and welcome to forexforsteadyprofit.com. I use the Commitment of Traders report, which comes out every week on a Friday, and I need to give me an idea of market direction. I analyze the ratios of longs to shorts for the commercials and non-commercials, and I also look at the divergence on the pairs, and it gives me an idea of market direction. We'll just go and have a quick look at the charts. So here we have the Commitment of Traders information in its raw form. You get the non-commercial positions and the commercial positions, long and short, and then you get the change in open interest. And you also get that broken down underneath for longs and shorts for both the commercials and the non-commercials. And we can see this broken down into a graph over a period of time, which also gives us comparatives, which are also very useful to look back on the history. And so we'll go and do that right now. And here we have a graph of the positions over 52 weeks, that's a year, for the commitment of traders of the commercials and non-commercials. And this is for the Australian dollar. This chart is produced by cotbase.com. And you can see here where we got to a low position with the commercials, and we're completely opposite to the speculators, and they've got a long position, so we're short. You can see we had a big drop off in the price of the Australian dollar. Conversely, when we were at a high and very bullish for the commercials, and we were fairly bearish for the non-commercials, that we actually had a hike in the rise of the price of the Australian dollar. This is a very useful tool to be using, and we can show you other ways that we use it and other things that we do with it. So here we have the Australian dollar, US dollar, and we've got the RSI. Now if we put a trend line on the RSI and we wait for it to go above the 69.1 and come back down and cut through it, this gives us a sell signal. Now, this obviously would have been a very good sell signal here. We had a sell signal here indicating this big long fall that we've had. And quite recently, we've had a rise in the price of the Australian dollar, which is just going through the 50 here. And I'm expecting it to turn back down and cut through the trend line, which will give us another sell signal because we have an extreme position of short the commercials and long the non-commercials on the Commitment of Traders report, and this should be quite a long sustained downward trend, which is always very profitable. Last bit of information, this is Ludwig's divergence calculator, and it works really well, and this helps us with the crosses. These are the currencies against the US dollar, and here we have the crosses calculated, and it gives us a divergence value between the commercials and the non-commercials, and it shows some of the pairs that are of more interest than others. A very useful tool, only available on the Members Centre, and the pairs that are of most interest we do feature on the video on the Members Centre every day, so you get a daily video on those. Hello, good morning and welcome. It's Wednesday the 22nd of November and it's just after 6 o'clock. Very little has changed from well, the beginning of the week really. The only thing I can say is that we've had a little bit of strength in the yen last night. So we've got quite a lot of news out this afternoon for the US dollar, and we've got the FOMC meeting later today. So those will be of interest, obviously, so I'll be watching those. But we'll start off as ever with the Australian dollar. We've got a little bit of support below this, and we've had a few days now where we've sort of like hung to it and started to climb yesterday. I am expecting a little bit of a bounce back, perhaps. if it happens, I expect that to be held around this sort of point. So, well, we'll see how that goes. But if it does bounce up, it's obviously a good selling opportunity. There we go. Pound US dollar. It still isn't going above these tails here. It's getting a little bit of strength, and I expect it then to short back down. If it gets up to the blue line, I might even put a short in myself. What I really want to do is if it goes down to 129, I will buy it long. Of course, depending upon the commitments of traders, if they turn their position round. USD CAD, similar sort of thing. It's sort of been bouncing around here. I'm expecting more strength in the dollar and weakness in the Canadian dollar, but the oil price sort of ticked up a little bit yesterday, knocked me out of a couple of trades. Hey ho, for a small profit, might I add. So we are we're expecting this to long. At the moment, we're just into sideways movement. We're a bang on the 50, slightly above, and flat. So we're waiting for a bit of movement on that. Euro US dollar, same thing, down onto support yesterday. Well, last 3 days, not really broken through it. Got my trading just below, so I'll be looking to sort of get that into profit and add to my winning trades as it drops down. We're just above the 50. We're at 52.6 at the moment and flat. Obviously, I'm a euro bear and a dollar bull, so we'll see how that pans out over the next month, I think. There we go. USD, Japanese yen, bit of strength in the yen. We've come down. I've got my one trade in profit. When this one comes in, I'll obviously be adding to my trades. We've got a commercial short ratio of 4.58 to 1. That's long the yen, short the pair. So we are actually pointing down on the RSI. So we'll see if we can break that support today or tomorrow. USD, Swiss franc. We've had a couple of red candles last 2 days. We have support about where it is, just under it. So, you know, let's just put a line in, shall we? Make it official. So I'm waiting for that to break. We are slightly below the 50 on the RSI and flat. Yeah. So that's the story across the board, I think, today. We've got a long ratio for the Swiss franc of 7.75 to 1. And I am really looking forward to seeing this actually gain a bit of strength. So we'll see how that goes over the next couple of weeks. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Fundamentally, the US dollar is a lot stronger than the New Zealand dollar, but we have seen a big fall in the price of the pair, and it's come down onto a fairly stiff support. I think we might see it struggle here and maybe bounce back up a little bit. We do have a commercials long ratio of 1.82 to 1. That's long the New Zealand dollar. We did come down onto the 30.9 and we are pointing back up. I'm in a little bit of a quandary with this because I do expect it to follow on through short, but in the short term I think we might see a little bit of a bounce back, and either way I haven't actually got a trade on it, but if it bounces back I will be short that pair. Silver, again, it's just continuing in this sideways motion. We're actually at 50 on the RSI. The commitment of traders are bearish for silver, fairly extremely bearish. So we'll see how that goes. But I think in the next couple of weeks we will see this break down. It's a very cheap swap. So I don't see a lot more upside for it, and I'm holding my trade. So we'll see how that goes. And if it breaks down, which I think it should, I'll be adding to my trades on the way down. Okay, Thank you very much for watching. Cheers now.